Audio check, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know if you can hear us. Audio check. Pedro and I will be with you shortly. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a second here to get this tea started here. Blazing hot. Anyway, the servers are serving. Videos are videoing. Cameras are recording. Sending those electrons to your monitor in order to bring you the best entertainment here, of course. All right, Pedro, let's get this show started. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Welcome to DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to be hosting another episode of this great show here on this great network. We got a lot of stuff for you today. It is June 18th. 2025. What do we got in store? Well, it's FOMC day. It's Fed day. What's Jerome Powell going to do? Is the president going to insult him again? Well, we shall see. War, crypto, both. Yes, that's right. War comes to crypto in the Israeli-Iran conflict. We'll talk about that later. Crude oil is up. Will war keep it up, or will the market anticipate it settling down and just pump, baby, pump, and drill, baby, drill? And also, Pedro's favorite crow is bouncing today. I saw that earlier. So I thought we'd look at that. But anyway, speaking of Pedro, the man next to me in the box, Pedro Garcia, my co-host and crypto chart analyst. Pedro, what's happening?
What's up, my fellow compadre, business partner, and friend? It is a good day here in crypto. The market is doing an amazing thing, and I am looking forward to getting that stuff together so we can start giving these people some money in their pocket, even though it's not trading. And again, this is all just things educational, social, educational, whatever the word, edutainment purposes only.
Edutainment.
Yes, but I look forward to really, like this morning, I was putting some stuff together and I was like, man, this would be so good. And then the fact is that the new Genius passed and all these other dope stuff is happening, which is going to make it seamless for one, Binance and one CME and one Goldman Sachs and one other person to be able to all talk to each other through stable coins. What? Stablecoin Act? What?
Next thing you know, Pedro, we're going to be sporting massive amounts of U.S. Treasuries because we're going to have to back our DYOR stablecoin.
Wait, what?
We're going to make our own stablecoin now, since anyone can now. We'll just start it. People will just send us a couple of $1 billion. We'll mint a stablecoin. We'll make 5% a year guaranteed. No problem, right?
No problem. What could go wrong with that?
Nothing.
Hey,
got hacked again. 4th time this week. Can't believe it. They minted it to zero. Can't believe it.
And it looks like it was from Tom's computer. That's funny.
Who knew? Really? Nothing. Honey, pack the bags.
Tom didn't come in today. I don't know why. I'm going live. By myself.
He's somewhere in Asia, on an island that has no. What's the?
No internet. No nothing.
No extradition treaty.
Another expedition. Yeah.
Learn that from watching the show Blacklist.
Well, one thing I've learned is that don't mean nothing, because the long arm of the United States, I mean, Sam Bankman proved that one.
Yeah, they'll like, get you. They'll force you to come back. They're like, oh.
They're going to get you either way, man. I mean, he thought he was good over there. And then the long arm of the CIA kind of stepped into somebody else's back pocket and said, do I need you to hold my pocket right now? Or are you going to be cool
you know what's funny, Pedro, is we're kind of talking about nobody being above the law. Just so happens I forgot to set the screen over here to my left here. On the right video for the show, and it was just running shorts, and it's Steven Seagal above the law.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
Oh, actually, it's one of his later movies, but still.
Yeah. Dude, you talk about a guy who kind of went left field, right? Like he was, he could have been solid, man. He could have been a G, and then he just kind of went off left field.
He went just cuckoo, thinking that he was the super shizzle, and then everyone should listen to him. And then his movies got so bad. Like his first 3 were okay.
Yeah.
The one the first one above the law was epic. And then the one when he was in the coma, that was pretty good. Then you got some other ones that you could tell were shot with like my phone and a bunch of not B-list but C-list actors, And
he would be like this. And then all of a sudden the person would fall down and like boom. Yeah. That's funny.
Anyway, a lot going on today, Pedro. A lot going on today. It's Wednesday. FOMC comes out at 2. We'll be on the air when they release the number, which is expected to be with 99% betting certainty. No change at all.
Yep,
the president opened up his mouth and just came out and called not only anyone, but a person that just by the nature that they hold one of the most respected jobs on the planet, called him stupid.
Stupid.
Which is not a good move. We realize we all get kind of immune to what comes out of President Trump's mouth after years of hearing him kind of have no filter. You get it. I get it. That's a lot of people think other people are just, stupid. But there's a person, there's an office, there's the respected institution, and the Federal Reserve relies on being a respected institution and not some cattywampus organization. And so, even if you disagree with the policy of it, you should be treating it well, because it keeps the lights on in this country, whether you like it or not. It's what's going on.
Yep, I agree. And the thing that's so sad to sit there, see they're 2 grown, respected men. They both are strong men, right? Like, and to watch. I'm not talking junk about Trump, but I would think that he would have used a better. I'm just calling him stupid was just one of those moments. It's like, man, look, you're already fighting issues with legacy media. That is not helping you. Like, it's not helping you. So it's just like one of those moments. It was like, bro, come on. And for us who are finally starting to really kind of get behind him, saying, all right, man, look, you got this, you got things going, you've got the market working correct, you finally are adding real liquidity, people buying real bonds, it's just getting started. And it's just like, man, don't throw the grenade in, man. Somebody's gonna frag you, bro. So all of a sudden you get wasted. Don't just keep doing what you're doing. Frag you. Right?
Those darn Vietnam references.
I probably shouldn't say that. I know, and I think it's
I was more referencing your age.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, because I'm a 70s baby. Yeah. Shoot. I actually learned that from a foster father. Guy taught me a lot, man. Taught me a lot. Gave me a lot of good insight. He said to me, if you take care of your pennies, your dollars will take care of themselves. So shout out to you. Happy belated Father's Day. And anyways, if ever he watches these, there you go, dog. All right, so let's jump back here real quick to let's check out Bitcoin here and see what's happening. So boom, here we go. We talked about it potentially going down lower, right? Down into these lower 102.66. I talked about $1,000 drop here if it continues, but we saw that 50 period moving average held right here. You can see this. Let me make sure you can actually see. Can you see it on the screen?
Oh God, you're looking at my chart. Sorry, I forgot to turn my chart off.
There you go. So you can see Bitcoin here definitely held right here on the 50-period moving average, but we saw a pretty good amount of seller volume come in, and as well as today's seller volume. We're in between and I'm actually, I was trying to figure out what to call this type of setup to cross, and so I was looking at it and I said it kind of looks like a snail. Like if you look at it like this here real quick, right? Boom. Right, here's the hump right here, and here's the little stuff right here, the little things that stick out, and then in the down part of it, it looks like a snail. So I'm gonna call it the snail cross, okay, which basically is the 8 and 20 right here. And again, we have a lower slanted nail. It's going to be a snail cross here, and so this is what we're kind of fighting against right now, against that 820 from going up. And so if we see a strong cross here, which is what it's looking like it might create, it's just not going to be able to hold. So I would expect us to see it come down here, but it all is predicated on really what's happening within crypto at large. Obviously, we have good news regarding what's happening in Washington, and a lot of the laws are being passed. So I would have thought that we would have had some real volume coming in. And remember, at the beginning of this week, I talked about it's going to be a crazy week. We talked about how the situation going on in Iran and Israel, as well.
They go to popular.
I keep thinking about the whole entire Puerto Rico. Every time I do that, I always kind of put the smile on my face.
Maybe today our guest will be Maria, Conchita.
Going back to my heritage, man. But in the same sense, so we talked about how this week was going to be kind of a crazy week, because we do have the situation in the Middle East. In addition to that, we also have the situation going on with legislation, as well as we had a lot of economic reports that were coming out this week that were going to be very we didn't know, right? So I said be ready for an up and down movement, some big movements in this market, and I did expect us to see us go down, right? And Tom pointed out on Monday, saying, look, we're going up. As Pedro says, if we go up in the morning or we go up in the beginning of the week, expect it to go down at the end of the week. Well, we've been consolidating here right now. So we had a big move up, another big move down, and now we're consolidating right here. And so right now we're kind of waiting to find out what's going to happen with the Fed at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Sorry, I think I gave Tom a little about to have a heart attack over here. But on the back end, what's interesting is that the fact that we're kind of consolidating here with a lot of seller volume is kind of indicative of a drop down here. So even though my beloved Crow is doing really good, my saddened heart says it will most likely follow Bitcoin as it goes down. So, but either way, we kind of expected it to come down. So these areas right here that I'm still looking at is really that 102.66 again to that 1,008. Now, it may sell off to the lows here that we've talked about, sitting at that 94, 95 area here. So we want to be conscious of that and what is happening there. But I might have to give up on that low there, literally, because the market is showing some stability here. So again, it's kind of a what's going on with Tom here? He must have left. But it's giving giving some stability here that I find really interesting. So hopefully we continue to either stay stagnant here or go up. That's really my heart. But it's still, we have a lot of sellers already stepping in here, as you can see. So I think we're gonna come back down and test these lows again until things are set up right. And the reason why we see that, because there's so much bullish news for crypto, that the banks are on the other side taking these shorts, or they're selling off positions to buy back even lower. So these are some of the things that our viewers, know this very well, because I hammer it into your head like as if it's a drill, like a fire drill. So,
I got a fun BTC story for you, Pedro, and it falls into the learning with Tom and his rookie mistakes. It's fun things. I'm going to ask you this question, Pedro. Have you, in all your years of trading, ever put on a $1.5 million position?
No.
It's probably not a lot of traders can say that. Now, understand I'm using demo mode. I don't have the wherewithal to put on a $1.5 million trade. But I was working on a leverage trade practice thing on my demo account.
You got fat fingered?
And I did my equations, and I needed $1,500 in as a position because I was putting up, I don't know, whatever, it was $150 in margin, and it was a 10x leverage or whatever it was. And so I just copied it out of my calculator, pasted it over in the trade box, and it had already set up. I knew what everything I had already had my take profit and stop loss set up. I'd already worked the trade out. I just needed to plug in the position size. So I pasted it and hit buy. and I executed great. Looked over some other stuff. I looked back and I'm down $1,500. Like in 2 seconds, you know. I'm like, what? And I'm looking for a God candle, you know, going down. And I'm like, the chart's just, you know, just as normal stuff. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And I went and I go look at my position. It says $1.553 million. You think if you're going to put on that much of a trade, there'll be an extra confirmation box. Hey, you've only ever risked $1,500 or less before. Suddenly you're doing 1.5 million. Would you mind double checking that? And of course I didn't. And not only that, it was at the market. It was a $300 trading fee just to get in that position. So I just laughed at it. I was like, wow, that was stupid. So I said, let's just let it run for a minute. So I was quickly down 25,000. And then I was up like 20,000. And then I got back to down $1,500 and I closed it out. Or it got down to about 2,000, closed it out. Just flash closed it. I'm like, all right, this is stupid. I shouldn't even be entertaining this. But it ended up $1,500 after fees in the plus to my demo account. I was like, all right, exchanges. If any people from the exchange is listening, there's so many AI agents out now that you can do things like, hey, if something's way out of the ordinary for this account, I mean, you do it on the security end of it. Hey, you're logging in from a different IP address. Let's add the two-factor back into this just to make sure. Hey, you're trading 1,000,000 times more than you normally do. How about we put a question on there? Do you really want to do that? So I found that to be fun. Good morning, Carmen Crypto.
What's up, Car? How you doing, man? She is awesome today. Dude, Carmen, we need to have you on the show. What's going on? I want to know what's going on with Miss Carmen Crypto. Where is she at in the world? What has she been up to? Because, you know, she's the grinder. She's a grinder. Next to Walter, or maybe she might have even pushed past Walter now as the hardest working person in crypto.
Heading out to Sweden.
Sweden. Wow.
Sweden.
There we go.
Is it a conference or is it intercompany work? Is it something public that we can follow you at, or is it just business type stuff? I'd like to know.
Yes, really like.
I have never been to Sweden. I almost ended up there by taking a wrong turn in Denmark, because there's a bridge to Sweden now there. Meeting the team, a retreat. Wouldn't it be nice if they had the retreat in like St. Bart's? Is that Sweden? Yeah, Sweden is nice. Obviously in Sweden in the summer is nice place.
Yeah.
Especially if your name's Mohammed. Do you see their immigration thing? They let in like 1 million people.
Yeah.
From certain countries, and they're like, oh, it's fine. They'll integrate.
No, they don't. We've seen them. We've seen them throughout the whole entire world.
Nope, they don't. And it's creating their crime rate has spiked. Homelessness has spiked. All this stuff has spiked. Problems, domestic violence has spiked. All kinds of weird shit going on there. You guys, that type of stuff doesn't work, all right? You can't just take people with problems and put them in a place that doesn't know how to deal with those problems. If they know how to deal with those problems, it's different.
story.
In Chicago, we had the same thing when they closed down the projects. Cabrini Green in these projects, a lot of people that used to live there moved out into the suburbs, to the inexpensive suburbs far away, not the expensive suburbs. And those cities went in the tank real fast because all these people with inner city problems showed up out in areas that didn't have police forces or social support nets or all the other things. And it was a disaster. Amazingly enough, it happens in international refugee things too. Anyways, side post aside, thank you for Carmen for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Pedro, I just figured out what the downside of starting the YouTube thing on its own to see if the algorithm was treating a feed from Rumble as different. First of all, it's not, because we're still low volume on YouTube, but the Rumble counter of viewers for us to run ads doesn't grab those viewers. So even though if it's only 3 to 5, sometimes we only need 15 viewers for an ad, and it boosts it over.
I got it.
Lesson learned. Gotta just stick with one platform.
And here's the thing. I mean, if all our viewers that are watching, all 10 of them, if you guys could hit that like and share button, that really helps us. Again, we're a small, struggling, hard, what do you call this? Network. And
bootstrapping ourselves up.
Bootstrapping our stuff up, going over news, going over the market, see what's happening.
Taking $1.5 million positions on live here.
Yeah, there you go, right here. You got the real deal. But more importantly, please, it's okay, it happens. Go through, please hit the like, share button, and subscribe. In addition to that, when you hit the share, please click on the link. That link does help us quite a bit. It makes it worthwhile for Tom to do this, and allows us to get up and going. So I would really appreciate if you guys could do us help. If you guys could help us out, that would really be great.
Pedro, you know what else helping out?
What's up?
A Stevie Wonder impression.
Oh yeah. I mean,
I'm looking forward to trying this.
Dog. So these right here. Now I'm at the age of 45 here now. Going on 46 now, closer, and more towards 46 than 45. And as you get older, we all know that the eyes start to kind of get weakened, and everybody's told me, you just gonna have to accept it and get readers, right? Here, and I've got 2 of them now sitting right here, and this is what you're gonna have to do. But I gotta admit, these guys here, they're special glasses with little holes in it, if you can see it, if I get close to it, anyhow, they basically make your eyes work. It's like a workout for your eyes, so 15-20 minutes a day. I have to admit, on a big level, we are the world. We are the children.
Gotta sing it like Michael. Children. Or Stevie, not Michael.
Stevie, yeah. But these have really been great. I have to admit, they've helped my eyes, and they've helped me just get stronger. So I am kind of excited about it because they actually work. I think I paid $30 for them, and I mean, really worth it. It really worked. They were worth it for me. So anyways, that's not a brand endorsement. I'm not sitting there, but if you see one of those things pop up on your Facebook page or whatever, dude, give it a shot.
They will now because we mentioned it, so now the ad networks are gonna be like something new. Yeah,
try it out. And even if your eyes are strong, put them on, get some workout in. It can never stop. Working out is good if you're age 15 and if you're age 99. So can't go wrong with the eyes as well. Anyhow,
before we move on, let me hit a news story here, Pedro. Yes. At the beginning, I talked about war and crypto. When are they going to meet? Well, they just met the other day here. If the Bitcoin thing would go away there, I'd appreciate it. There it goes. Pro-Israeli hackers destroy 90 million in Iran crypto exchange breach, analytics firm says. Essentially, the hackers got into Nobitex, one of Iran's major cryptocurrency exchanges. The funds were drained. They was hacked, drained from platform wallets into addresses bearing anti-government messages, explicitly referring to Iran's blah 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 blah. In essence, what happened is an pro-Israeli group hacked a Iranian crypto exchange and sent the money to dead addresses. Didn't even steal it. They didn't steal the money and take it. They just sent it right to dead addresses.
Which honestly is brilliant. Tell you the truth, right? It's almost like, yeah, we don't even want to take this. We're not even. It's almost like that backhanded slap. Like you're not even worth the front, right?
Right. We don't need the money. We're just going to send $90 million to these various dead addresses, and there's nothing you can do about it. I mean,
nothing. It's there forever.
I didn't look to see what coins they were. It's going to be. People lifting, the funds are sent to like hackers cannot control. Lifting, blah blah blah. Passing them says, they didn't get into that. What it was, but I'm guessing it was a bunch of the usual suspects that aren't too volatile, because that they likely people in power were the ones controlling that money, and they sent it right to the dead. The dead addresses.
Well, what I find so interesting more is that the idea behind that what they're doing is so brilliant. I mean, they literally cut them off at the heels, right? They're like, I find that so interesting because as we keep seeing crypto come into mainstream, I mean, the fact is that we've seen with the Stablecoin Act that large corporate banking institutions are utilizing and also setting up to TradFi, which they're calling, I heard this guy say, TradFi. It was Senator, I forget his name, but he was a senator. He's like, oh, and with the TradFi, and I was like,
Cardonzo.
Yeah. It's like, look, I don't even care if you can't even get it right. Just let's make sure we're getting it going, right? Like, we can always work out the details, but they're actually really going to allow traditional finance institutions to utilize, just a more efficient manner to send money, to create money, and to actually back it up in a way that is more efficient versus what we've seen in the past here with a debt system. And so I'm excited about this because it's going to add a lot of liquidity to traditional finance, as well as allow it to be stabilized with real income coming in and out versus a fiat system. And I honestly say we've talked about this happening, but it's actually happening now. And I honestly said this is going to be probably 3 to 5 years out, and within a year it's already here. I didn't think Trump and the guys in Washington were going to really do this. But they are. So it's kind of exciting to see what's happening here. Go ahead, Tom. I feel like no,
that's all right. I was just trying to look up some information on the Genius Act. But yesterday, the Senate passed the Genius stablecoin bill amid concerns over risk, blah, 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 the headline says. But this is one of the ones I loved right here. The empire strikes out. Institutionalists failed to kill a stablecoin bill despite a relentless campaign from institutional power brokers like Senator Elizabeth Warren. The U.S. Senate advanced the Genius Act, marking a watershed moment for stablecoin regulation, exposing the limits of establishment resistance. I just tell you, when the president and the majority of Congress gets behind something, it doesn't matter how much the lobbyists are paying the underdogs. It's not really going to make a difference. Anyway, the Senate passed the Genius bill, a bill regulating stablecoins. Crypto is celebrating with frameworks for stablecoin regulation being passed. The bill passed in a bipartisan effort, roughly 6 weeks after being introduced. The bill, lawmakers say the bill will offer clarity and stability, but economic and legal observers have noted that the backing clause of Genius Act could pose a risk to U.S. monetary system. Well, everything's a risk. I mean, they could pass a law saying that all the senators had to wear Converse shoes, and somebody would say, well, there's a risk with that. The Genius has preference for U.S. Treasuries as a backing asset has concerned some observers. Well, I don't know why. Moron number 9 formerly worked in payments and clearing. The Federal Reserve Board released a paper detailing their position. Deputizes stablecoin issuers as wholesale buyers of U.S. debt. Well, that is a good point, but they're still buying it, which means we can issue it. Yay, 40 trillion incoming. The authors are concerned that backing stablecoins is not scalable with the current state of the U.S. Treasury market. Circle has a circulating supply of 60 billion, while around 900 billion is traded in secondary. I'm not getting this argument. It's probably too AI summarized in this article to make sense. Larry, let's get to the bottom here. What does it all mean? In the event of a large stablecoin issuer experiences a run on stablecoins, liquidity in treasury markets and a lack of counterparties could prevent the issuer from being able to sell its securities. Well, I would say that there would be a run on stablecoins about as often as a run on U.S. Treasuries. I mean, I don't see. I mean, what would cause a run on stablecoins, Pedro? Like Binance failing or something?
No, I mean, honestly, the person who was writing this didn't fully understand the nuances of stablecoins within that article. So, I mean, the only way I could truly see a run on it is if China goes through, buys so much of stablecoins, and then just floods the market. But even then, if they do that, or let's say Russia does the same situation, they're still holding U.S. debt, hence helping us out. So it's not one of those things. I mean, if they buy it and then they stake it, either way, it still really can't hurt us. So I don't understand the idea of a run. It's not like it's a run on bank. If they buy so much, they have to have a backing for it.
Right. So,
and I mean, the only thing I can think of is, let's say they buy up, let's say $1 trillion, right? They come in and say, okay, we want $1 trillion. Well, what does Circle got to do? They've got to go through, take the money, and set up and buy bonds with it. And so if you sell it, if you sell off the, if China or Russia sells off that position, it could stop it, right? The huge amount. But again, creating that demand, you have to have sellers on the other side to develop it. This is not a fiat system. So they've got to figure out a way to get stable coins from the sellers. So if they come in and buy, it's not like this is, like Circle's not based off of the Terra Luna system, where if it calls for demand, it creates that demand. USD, that's why you saw the infolding of it, right? Algorithmic stablecoin system. Whereas the way we see Circle, as well as we're seeing USDT, that these are based off of real buyers, real sellers, and every time we see a transaction that happens, it is met with real system. It's not like the fiat system here. If I buy, you sell, Circle has to go out and buy treasuries and back it, right, with some form of real stability, versus, let's say, we see what's happening or even gold. I mean, they buy gold, they buy silver to back up their stable coin. It's substantiated in a way where we can see certain aspects. They're buying Bitcoin, they're buying other assets that back up that system, versus a fiat system that we currently have right now, which is basically the US dollar, that, hey, money's made frivolously, literally through the Fed. So this is this idea that to sit there and say we could see a bank run, there has to be both sides of the buyer or seller. And if you have a huge amount of sellers, and I see Circle dropping, dude, everybody knows, we've already seen it. People jump in hardcore, and all of a sudden we see that demand step right back in. So it's not, I don't see it feasible because of the fundamental structure of stable coins and how they're developed, at least currently right now. It's not like it's a Terra Luna situation. Let me be quiet. Go ahead, bud.
No, but what you're saying just loops me back to the previous story about the Iran heist. I have on my screen here, you can't see it that well, especially if you're on a cell phone, but the address, go F yourself, terrorists. Literally they sent it to that address. Yeah. Got 50 million in Tether USDT sent to it. Essentially, it's a dead address now. Unless some lucky soul says, I'm going to create a new wallet, and just, gets their secret phrase key, and then that's the address it generates, and suddenly you got 50 million USDT. But that's not the point. The point is that in exchange somewhere, somewhere, somebody's holding $50 million in US dollar backed liquidity to support this $50 million of Tether that just got sent to a dead address. Now that dead address could be dead forever. It could be dead until the whole Tether network votes to clear out all the dead addresses and steal all the money, or send it to the miners, or you know what? I don't even understand how the Tether thing works and how they validate all that. But anyway, so there's $50 million in backing somewhere representing this $50 million in USDT that's at a dead address now because of it. Literally could be forever. So is $50 million in US debt tied up forever because of that? Or eventually exchanges and larger institutions that are holding the backings or Tether just say, we estimate 5% of all Tethers never recoverable, so we're going to lower our reserves by the same amount.
But that would be silly.
Or do they have to keep that forever?
I think they should have to, because here's the thing: they're still receiving some form of dividend off of the assets that back it. So it would be silly for them to actually just go through and negate those wallets.
Oh, sure. I get you. It's like free money for them. They got. Yeah, it's like so it can never be cashed
it's the
in.
Opposite. Like, it's literally the opposite. When America prints money, it's deflationary, literally on you and I. Absolutely. It's their way of stealing it. In this situation, it's actually, for us, it builds the narrative, it builds the asset itself, because again, you still have the same amount of tokens, but they're not being used, which means then that they're receiving income off of that.
Well, it's like, hold on. You're talking about how the thing operates. I'm talking about how executives that want perks operate. An executive of Tether can look at this and go, hey, $50 million just disappeared and into a dead address. We're never going to have to pay that out. Oh, that new Gulfstream G5 is how much? 50 million? All right, we'll take it. We've got 50 million in cash that we're not otherwise obligated for. That's kind of my question is when these things are sent to the dead address, is there an obligation behind it? And in these acts, genius acts, that stablecoin acts, regulations, MiCA, all these types of stuff, do they even contemplate that? In theory, one day everything could go to a dead address. Like some hacker could just say one day, just go boop and send everything to a dead address. And then Tether sitting on $180 billion now, whatever their market cap is, of cash, and nobody can ever reclaim it. What do you do?
I think what should be done is you leave it alone, because again, the idea behind a stable coin is the fact that there is a realistic asset that supports its value, and so even though it's a dead asset, even though it is dead money, they're still receiving income off of that dead asset. Excuse me, let me rephrase that. The income of the Tether that is sent, it's to a dead wallet, meaning that nobody can access that money to allow for circulation. When it sits somewhere else, for that asset to have been created, there had to be a real product underneath that supports that. And so they receive income off of that real product, hence adding to the narrative of more backing of the asset or backing of the stablecoin. And to me, I think that's what should happen, is keep that money. It's basically virtual gold.
Well, here's an article, Pedro, talking about what you were mentioning earlier. First, quickly, Carmen says, I want to send my student loans to a dead address.
Don't we all? Don't we all? Somebody's preaching over there. Give her a mic.
Anyway, here this article says Circle's USDC to become eligible collateral for US futures trading. US dollar peg stablecoin by Circle and Coinbase set to become collateral for US futures trading. It's part of a joint effort by blah, 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 blah. Coinbase Derivatives is expanding its partnership with clearinghouse Nodal Clear to bring, this is just setting that, like you said, setting the wheels in motion. We don't need to go through the banking system to get $100 million into my account at the CME, because I have that problem, $100 million problem, because I made a $1.5 million trade earlier. And
all in jest.
And now people can send USDC. However, there's still a problem here. When you send $100 million to your CME account, you want to ensure it gets there with zero risk, right? And currently, sending wallet to wallet here, or whatever to whatever, does include some risk of typos, of things like that. And if you send it to a dead address by accident, you don't get it back. If you mistakenly send it to, the wrong account of someone you know, you can get it back, because you call them up, hey Jim, that happens in the Wall Street all the time. Whoops, we sent that to Deutsche Bank instead of Swiss Bank. Call them up, say, hey, could they send it back? Blockchain doesn't work like that. They could send it to the Iranian Republican Guards by accident. Whoops, sorry. And so I see this slowly adopting and it working for day traders and things like that, and guys that want to send money from their CME account to the funds from one of their other small accounts, so they don't have to go through the banking system and all that. See that working really well. But with the big things need insurance and risk management. And the risk management people are going to be like, if something goes wrong when the bank sends $100 million to the CME, we call the bank and say, you got to fix that. Whatever the bank's problem was, doesn't matter. The client's funds still go. The bank may lose $100 million in it or got scammed, but the client is made whole all the time in the banking system, and they have insurance and this type of stuff. Still not fully there with stable coins and large amounts of money. Think from a risk manager's point of view. They're like, this way it's been working great, and we only do it once a month. Just keep doing it that way. But for the day traders who want to move a couple thousand into their CME account, I got to start a CME account, 25K, boom, USDC, it's right there, no problem, done. Don't even have to go through the bank. Bank's not wondering why are you moving crypto around? Oh my God, there's evil stuff there. And Senator Elizabeth Warren can bitch and complain all she wants. Anyway, but big news, that's really a big news, opening up the trading markets and essentially opening Wall Street to stablecoin usage. And you could really see, Circle could issue, they could triple their market cap in a week. So now I get it. They wanted to be public before that act passed.
Yes, so that they were already established a complete unit. So all of a sudden now banks see them as a legit real. Whereas if it was being established prior, then this is where you then go, right? Well, or if after the fact that the Genius bill and or the stablecoin bill were to get passed, prior to that, if they were to go public, let's say after, then you look like you're adding on to the bandwagon and you're trying to get it going. Whereas now they're the expert. They're the expert in the system. And I love the fact that they're trying to set up a DeFi system that correlates with all this. So now you can literally send in, if this works, I don't know, we're going to go through and see all the details here. But if they allow this, I think it would be really interesting to be able to take money from a perpetual future in crypto, right? And right now be able to transfer that into the perpetual futures that are going to be created for gold, silver, a lot of these commodities, again, bringing a ton of real assets back and forth. And the part that I love about this is it's getting rid of the antiquated system that correlates with the CME of every 3 months you got to go through and transition your position from, let's say, the CME first contract to another contract, or you got to go out and buy a future contract and then let it sit for 6-7 months, right? And then once that ends, then everything sets up. So a continuation of, or a just, I don't know if I have to use the word continuation. I would say an improvement of the current system is being established right now. And if you are Coinbase, or if you are any type of crypto established, and I don't think they're gonna let like ones that are just, but I'm saying established exchanges, they're very much going to interact with, you know, like crypto.com, Binance. Probably the top 5 to 10, they're going to be brought in. I'm doing it again. Long story short, these established crypto exchanges are going to be brought into the exchanges of TradFi. And we're finally going to get rid of legacy systems that are antiquated. And it's going to just make it easier.
Yep.
That's in a nutshell. All that 5 minutes of talking was summed up into that.
Shit's going to get easier, bitches. Going down.
Dude,
that was what's one of our favorite comedian guys, the mixed race black guy that Pete Pie. He did the Obama.
Yeah, Pete. Not Pete. Key and Pete.
Yeah. Obama's giving a speech, and he's doing the inner city interpretations behind it.
I knew what you said.
Well, we are gonna reduce the budget. Shit's going down, bitches.
Dude, I'm so sad they don't have the show anymore, man. It was such a good show. I loved it.
That his show and Chappelle's original show on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Dude,
I get on YouTube runs where I get on the shorts for Chappelle, and they're showing or just the old skits. Yeah. I can watch that reparation skit 500 times in a row. Watch out, everybody! There are poor people around. And in related news, Cadillac has sold out a complete run of Escalades.
You know, I think before that happens, if we were to ever do, and here's the other part, I bring this up, with what's happening within stablecoin, it's going to generate real income and allow people to be able to receive loans a lot easier. It's going to be kind of cool to sit there and say, okay, I've got this crypto wallet. The banks can actually transfer money instead of the whole entire situation that correlates with it. And what's nice about it is as it starts to progress, people who are looking for loans, especially like inner city people who are trying to build credit, or trying to get things up and running, but right now are kind of suppressed by the current system, right? This is going to make things a lot easier for them to actually get up and going, get it running, and allow it to really just develop. So I develop their credit. It's going to allow money to flow much easier. And I'm excited about that because it's going to bring a lot of business up and running again, especially, you know, like there's a huge portion of Black, Hispanic, and minorities who use crypto more than traditional Caucasian individuals. And so it was really interesting to sit there and see that they have there's a large sum of money in their accounts or in their crypto wallets. So that money is now going to be able to be used in the traditional finance, and traditional finance say, oh shoot, you got $100,000 here. Okay, let's use this for you. Right? And they're going to be able to start receiving real staking. I was talking with another individual yesterday about crypto at large, and he just buys, you know, and holds. And I said, man, why aren't you staking out? And he goes, what's that? And I said, all right, go to my Facebook page, click on the first tab there that I have pinned, and it's basically going to teach you from kind of an A to Z, like a 2,000 foot look at crypto. And I said, you should be staking. And he's got a sizable account with his
put your money to work.
Yeah, so I said, bro, let's get that money, bro. I imagine getting 5 to 10. Sometimes, bro, you can snatch a 15 to 20% annual fee, or not annual fee, annual APR just right off the jump. If the market's going down, man, they pushed out those goods. And these are the same things that traditional finance give other traditional finance institutions the ability to do. Now we as people have the ability to actually partake in that. So I'm excited about it to see what's going to happen with the inner city, see what's going to happen within, I think, school systems. Because the fact is that when money starts to flow, education starts to get better. And it doesn't matter what area you're talking about. We've always seen this. And so I'm excited about that. I really am. I mean,
the education's not going to get better in the U.S. till they fire the teachers union president, that crazy lady. She's been ever since. Here's a good statistic. When she took over the teachers union like 10 years ago, she ran on the platform, teachers aren't getting paid enough. We need to raise their pay. It's 10 years later. All she's done is taken most of their money and donated to Democratic campaigns. And she still says out there every day, teachers don't get paid enough. Well, what have you been effing doing the last 10 years?
There's a lot of situations like that get very frustrating, right? And there's really, I don't understand how in America those.
Pedro, I got to interrupt you.
Go. Yes, good interruption. Go, carry up, bro. Carry on.
Ladies and gentlemen, still haven't tried 1775 coffee yet? Well, now's your shot. The 1775 starter kit just dropped. Only 1,000 units. That's it. It's limited. It's like Bitcoin. It's limited. Scarcity. You're getting the bold dark roast that hits harder than a CNN fact check, the smooth medium roast, and the Vitality mushroom coffee for clean energy and laser focus. No crash. No crash. All single origin, small batch, toxin free, and mold free. Plus, you're also getting a gold cup spoon clip. How about that? A gold cup spoon.
I know, right?
Because freedom isn't scooped with plastic. That's right. You don't want microplastics in your coffee. You get a nice gold spoon clip instead. Note, we talk about gold here on the channel a lot. It's not that same kind of gold. And the black 1775 tumbler that says, I don't take life advice or caffeine from a woke sea witch. $170 worth of coffee and gear, yours for $99. This is for the ones who've been watching 1775 blow up right here on Rumble, wondering if it's actually worth it. Spoiler. It is. It's worth it. Go to 1775coffee.com/studio and grab your starter kit before they're gone. Bold beans, clean fuel, and a morning routine that stands for something, just like Rumble does. Start your day with coffee that actually backs what you believe. Ladies and gentlemen, go to 1775coffee.com/studio. Grab your starter kit before they're gone. Also, in the Rumble chat, there'll be a link here, a little pop-up window you can click. Also, for those of you watching out there, this QR code brings you right there. Even if you're not going to buy it, you want to check it out and learn all about it, click this QR code. Hint to all of our viewers, click the QR code to help us out. Anyway, in other words, we do want our advertisers to get a nice feedback and usage and click-through rate from our reading. So it would be very helpful. And plus, you may just buy some and like it and order more and order more and order more. And that's how advertising works, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, 1775coffee.com/studio, or this QR code here, or the link in the chat, and you can get your 1775 coffee.
Absolutely, man. I'm actually looking forward to it. The only problem is I need them to have one that is because of my new
36 cents.
Dude, we're coming up. Moving on up. All right, my peoples. Okay, so guys, thank you so much for taking the time.
American flag here today.
America.
Yeah, so I hope they use this ad in America. Oh, I didn't have you on there. Nice. I'll have to do that.
It would be nice. But
you got to participate that in America.
Go get your golden spoon so you don't have to worry about the sea witch coming after you. That is I love that epic line. But jumping back here to crypto, and by the way, I love it, but I need that I need to actually call those guys and get. I need to find out what's the ingredients that they do use.
Click the QR code.
I have.
Hello.
I know, right? We need to. Shouting out here real quick. One of the things I want to bring up here on the news. Let's check out some things. We talked about yesterday. We went over so many things on the Technical Tuesday. So this week, I talked about a few things that I'm really kind of looking at and hoping that we're going to see some moves, right? One being, where is it at? Brave. There you are. Brave. So I like Brave. I think what they do, they have a great platform and I love it. So it's one of those ones that I just think is a sleeper, right? So it's starting to sell off again. But what happens is this guy right here, which is a crypto...
I'm sorry, Pedro. I didn't get what you said. You like Raves?
Brave. B-A-T.
Brat?
BAT. B-A-T.
Oh, the Brave browser's crypto thing.
Yeah. Because we didn't get time yesterday to go into it, and so I wanted to add this to you because I told people I was going to bring something that I've been waiting on, looking at them, and they've come down to the area that I'm expecting, and because of what they do, it's just a matter of time. I feel like they're going to be picked up by either something of this nature because they have such a great browser. I use it all the time, and again, I know a lot of crypto natives that use BAT or use Brave Browse, and so by you going out there and being able to just simply browse and look through the internet, they protect your information. They make sure that you get paid by it. And so because of this, we've talked about this on the show, that in Brazil and many places around the world, they're now passing laws that if you're going to use our data to sell off, you have to give us a portion of it. And sooner or later, that's going to come to us. And I think this is where we're going to see organizations like BAT really take off. Or excuse me, Brave, the Brave organization. The Brave, why is that so hard for me to remember right now? Browser, holy moly. The Brave browser, I think, is just undercut right now. And it's just, I'm seeing volume step in on them. There is a lot of, look at this right here. The volume is picking up on average here. And additionally to that, I'm watching. So again, I think they're still going to sell off here. But for the price compared to the value that sooner or later we're going to see come out of this, I think what we're seeing here with BAT token is a steal of a deal. And it's one of those ones that I've been looking at, kind of paying attention to. So I want to bring it to you guys because that was one of the things we were going to talk about yesterday at Technical Tuesday. So again, I'm looking at potentially but it's below, it's going to be the 8-cent mark is really what I'm looking for. I hope it gets down there. If you want to trade this on a perpetual, right, you can actually go through here. Here is a nice little bitty. Give me 1 second, let me make sure. 108, 10, 1070.
I am on mute. How about that?
Oh, this whole entire time you've been on mute?
No, I only said one sentence. But when I talk, I can hear myself. When I didn't, all I heard was death.
All right, so this area right here, I like this area. It is a monthly and weekly low. So we should see some form of position where we should see it push up. So when it gets down to this position here, you're looking to go long on a short trade, okay? And just like I've explained this multiple times, I'll do it again. What we're looking for is the market to come down to here, okay? And what we want to see is we want to see the market come down in red, and then it triggers all the stops here, right? And then we should see it come back up, and we should see maybe a day or two rally off of this. But if it starts to peter out and we don't see that, I want you to take profit here. But as we get near that, I'm going to bring that up there so we can look at that trade and be able to make you guys a little bit of extra cash here on that position. But I like these guys. I think what they're doing here is just a great service for crypto. And also, it's just almost a sleeping kind of I think it's a sleeping giant here that just nobody really knows about. There's a few other platforms. Browsers. A few other browsers out there, like it's just slipping my mind. I don't know why it is, but there are a few other browsers that do something similar. But Brave has the majority of people using them, and
you
so
can trade the perpetual on Mexi.
Yes, you can.
I don't know about BitFi, but we'll check into them. But
it's just one of those things you guys can take part of. The days when we get a crypto.com sponsor, when that comes one day, we'll be able to say, and you can buy the coin over at crypto.com.
Exactly.
Yeah. So anyhow, so I just want to give you guys a heads up so you know what's going on. This was one of the ones. And then the other one I thought was really interesting, and like not a lot of people are looking at it, is I still don't think that Mana and the metaverse has gone away. They're still around. Okay, so I think looking at it at buying at sell-off points are good areas. So we saw this here at the next level that I'm honestly looking. Again, you're not. These are plays that are going to be basically stuck. You know, I'm gonna say use the word stuck, but that you're going to be in for a while. So that's why I'm looking for sell-off areas here, right? So pick up a little at 19 cents area here. And potentially, if it comes down to the 10-cent area here, I'm also looking to pick up some here at the 10-cent if it does get down to there.
Mana, what's Mana's real name?
Decentralized.
Decentraland, that's it.
Yeah, Decentraland. So again, and right now there's a lot. They're doing a lot. They really are, but they're just not out there. So they're $10. We'll say 10 to 9.
They're still a $500 million coin here.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of money tied up in a project that, I don't know, does Decentraland work? Isn't it? Was that a meta universe? Metaverse or whatever.
It's one of those ones I feel like it's set up in a way, if, you know, again, you're not going to put your life savings in. I'm not telling you. I'm telling you, you know, if it decides to go to $50 billion in the next 15 years, you're going to be sitting on a nice little bag here. If you throw in, you know, 100, I mean, I'm not telling you what to throw in, but basically you're going to put a small bag in this as we see the sell-off come in as it continues. And then you just kind of let it go, right? And if it, you know, and if you double or triple your bag there, take off some, boom, right? And then move on. Just like how we talked about our play with, why am I forgetting what it's called? It's the dang dude.
Brain and drain. I'm gonna take this moment right now to read. Ladies and gentlemen, always remember, this is not financial advice. This is an educational video and not financial advice. Nothing herein has been reviewed or approved by any central authority or any competent organization. What Pedro and I do is give you advice on how to learn about crypto and what to learn, not advice on what to do with your money. With your money, you do that yourself. Consult your own tax attorney, your own financial advisors. But for entertainment, consult us. Opinions on this show do not represent those of DYOR Media. This is edutainment, ladies and gentlemen. Just to remind everyone of that.
Absolutely. So we talked about Monero, the play here at the beginning of the year. We've talked about this a couple of times. This is a similar play that we were talking. Whereas I said there's a new law that was passed. There's a lot of stuff that's correlated with this. But ultimately, we saw it go from about 150-ish area all the way up to 420. It was a nice little bank. Again, this was a play. 420, yes. And so it was one of those things that we saw happen. I said, expect something of this nature to really pick up. And again, if you were able to take part in that, you know, you were able to do really well. I talked about looking at perpetual futures to be able to take advantage of it. Obviously, for a lot of people, putting in $150 is a lot of money, but you can put in, you know, $10, $20, and with a 5x or 10x, you could have taken that all the way up to 100, you know, 240, something of that nature. So again, These are just plays that I'm looking at, and I'm just bringing to you guys. If you guys want to take a part of them, you guys have more than the ability.
Pedro, let's build on Monero and add into it a Monero stablecoin.
Yes, it is definitely coming.
A Monero stablecoin that is legal to move money around between accounts in the US or for whatever, and it's not trackable. Well, it's not easily trackable. I mean, you can track by eliminating everyone else, and whoever's left is the one being tracked, but I would find that to be very interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what actually correlates with that, because there's a few other organizations like Monero, like was it Fire? Why am I forgetting it? I forget exactly what the actual other coins like Monero, but I would expect to see it really play well with basically being able to I hate to hide your money, but the fact is that we can kind of go back to how America kind of was, where it's like you don't have big brother looking over your shoulders and really trying to suppress you and tell you what you can or cannot buy.
Right.
So
well,
really
that's another point with the stablecoin thing, is because it's a blockchain. Even Circle, everything's a blockchain. People will be quickly being able to figure out, oh, look, JP Morgan is moving $500 million to the CME. And with other news and AI reading through the news, to be able to figure out why they're moving it there pretty quickly. And so I fully see quickly people coming up. Hold on, let me back up. If stablecoin stuff is just adopted and nobody cares about that, then whatever. But if they find that, Circle does a focus group and says, well, we're not really getting a lot of people using it like we thought, because people can track it, and we need a privacy one. Okay, next thing you know, privacy stablecoins.
Can I springboard off that and just say, hey, I see a Rumble exclusive. Oh, sorry, I just realized. Are we being given another coffee thing?
No, we still have another 6 minutes before we would be offered another ad.
Gotcha. Okay,
It's timed. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching on Rumble, thanks for joining us. You're watching DYOR Live here on the DYOR Media Network. My name is Tom. This is Pedro in the box ahead of me. We do a daily show about crypto and the financial markets. It's kind of the markets that tend to affect day traders and investors that are more actively watching after their products rather than just sending their money to some big mutual fund somewhere. And so every day we have a little bit of nugget of information. We start off every show with Bitcoin, what's going on with that. And then Pedro and I invariably talk a little bit about politics, what's going on in the world. We laugh a lot, make mistakes, gaffes, generally insult somebody or other by mistake, and then go on with the show. So you get a little bit of everything. Thank you for everyone watching on Rumble. Remember, this is an interactive show. You can ask a question in the comments. And on Rumble, to ask a question, you have to be logged into your account. Remember, you don't have to pay to have an account on Rumble. You can have an account in which then you can comment, you can like things. This is all good for us. 2 thumbs up, huh? And if you want, you can join Rumble Premium, which is a totally separate thing. But just have a regular account in order to like us, follow us, and all that. We need your followers. We need all of you new viewers following us. We really appreciate it because we're a growing channel here on Rumble. And we want to be up there with the Bonginos and the Crowders and all those people pretty soon. Yes, we want to go from 15 viewers to 1 million in a week.
It could happen. Very much could happen.
Imagine the ad read number on that instead of 36. When I do these ads, ladies and gentlemen, we get under $1. But if we had like 5,000 viewers, I mean, add some zeros to that. We get $100 each time we read it or something like that.
When we have.
Yeah, good point. When we have. Right.
There we go. Speaking of that, one of the things that's going to draw some of you guys in is, so let's talk about HNT and the play that we were playing. So this is the thing that we're looking also for BAT, basic attention token. So we actually had triggered this morning the HNT play here. It came down to our area where there would be liquidity, and sure enough, it played exactly. So as I always said, we want to see us get above the 8-period moving average, right, with decent volume. So you can see here that our area here, we had good volume come in. We got above the 8-period moving average while we came down into liquidity area right here, right? Here's our liquidity area where we said we should see a good little play. And I said we wanted to play this really off of the perpetuals so that you could either add in your leverage that you typically use. But again, this is a quick play. We're looking to make money and we're out, right? Boom, get in, get out. Thank you. Have a good day. And if it continues, great. If not, cool. I always say you want to start in when we get above the 8-period moving average. So here was our 8, right? This is the liquidity area that we're looking to see buyers step in. You can see it came in, tapped it at the 630 mark.
Just tap it.
We saw it turn, tap it in, and then we saw it get above the 8-period, sitting right here. So with that, I then said, all right, guys, we want to get in right here. So this is where we would have put our entry in. Our stop goes right below the low here, the local low. And we're looking for, like I always say, a 50% jump, right? I say 60 to 70%. You're going to sell off at a 1-to-1 ratio. So your 1-to-1 ratio would have been within the first 10 minutes here. Okay. And you would have taken off right here. So we would have gotten on this candle at the 735 candle here, sitting right here. Our stop would have been looking to be about right here. And then we want to capture from this spot, which is sitting at 219. We've been looking to get long 219 all the way up into this upper level here. But the most important part is we're trying to take 60% of that trade. So here's the 1 ratio would have been right here at this level. We would have taken off 60 to 70% to 70% of that initial. And then we would have sat there and said, okay, we want to keep this running. As long as it stays above the 8-period moving average, we're good. But then once it closes below, which we closed right here, then you would have said, all right, I'm out. And again, you would have captured an additional maybe, it would have been a 1.25, maybe 1.3x off of that. Now, again, you're like, dude, that's weak. That doesn't mean nothing. Well, remember, I always talk about one of the most powerful things in trading is compound interest. And so I'm all about hitting singles and doubles. This is get on base, hit a single, hit a double. Because the greatest, the greatest hitters, the majority of the time, were just guys who got on base, right? They batted above a 300, 400%, or batted above a 300 or 400, but simply those guys who just always were looking to get on base. And so that's what we're looking to do. Capture something where money comes in every single day. That's what we're looking for. And so these are some
playing
of the
money
value
ball.
Exactly. We are playing money. That is a great movie. Dude, watching
I love Moneyball.
Dude, Brad Pitt with Jonah
and
dude.
Brad Pitt.
So good.
that was
great
good.
team.
And Pedro's not wrong. That's essentially what you're doing here.
Yes.
Your goal here is not to hit home runs. Your goal isn't to be a slick looking trader and hitting home runs. Your goal is to get on base.
Build your account.
Any way you can, get on base. Any way you can, increase the value of it. And it just builds and builds and builds. And in baseball, if you can get on base, then you can score. If you don't get on base, you can't score. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Anyway, Helium is a $400 million market cap with not a big trading volume over the past 24 hours, only $9 million. But for those of you that are new watching this, Helium, H&T is the symbol, Helium. They have some interesting things. First of all, they were the first people to have, we've heard of the Solana phone. H&T had their Helium phone before that. And they have this network of routers around that people, you and I and stuff like that, can put out in your apartments or homes or condos or in your window that allow people to connect to the Helium network and get internet access. And you can earn a little money from that each time that happens. And there's some mining validation node operation going on in there, something like that. But it's a way, it's another one of those passive income things that if you're in a populated area where people have crappy internet connections, you can make some fat bank from helium.
And here's the thing, right now at these low costs, right? I mean, I would say the miners may not be the best because it's going to cost you more money to keep running. But if you're up on if you're on a mountain range where you're overlooking a large part of area where you can validate off of the IoT network, even better, right? But either way, I say if you're going to get in until it gets above, let's say a $5 point or a $6 point, it may not be useful to validate it at that point. Just like when Bitcoin falls below a certain point, it's just not profitable to actually mine because it costs you more money to mine. Right now, if you don't mind, Tom, looking up what is helium's cost comparative to where is it that they are profitable at the mining? Because ultimately, I think at these price points, just if you're looking to hold on to helium, which I like helium. I want to be buying it literally at the $2 mark, $1.50 mark. These are great little areas. I think they're going to be generational lows. So this is where I'm sitting there just going, they already have a complete massive community there. They also have a huge amount of people who just buy it. So they're, again, if I'm an institution and I go, there's a huge community over with this asset and they're willing to buy, I'll go in, I'll buy in a ton. And if I can, let's say I get in at $1 to $2. And remember, the height of helium, even though you can't see it on this, was $50. And so you know that, like, all right, you've got a good distance to run before you hit real supply. So at that level, getting in at $1, $2, and potential run to $50 mark, that's a 25x for any institution, and it can happen over a 6-month period. So these small little areas that I'm trying to prep you guys for in regards to the altcoin season here. Again, we're prepping this so that when it does a nice little bounce and all of a sudden we get 10x, 15x, 20x, and you've got, $2,000 to $3,000 in that, that's not a bad day. All of a sudden, if you're a man and you go to your wife and you go, hey babe, that $2,000 you were complaining I had in that account, well, it just turned to, $25,000, $50,000.
We getting paid, going to Tiffany's, getting us a Slade.
Getting us a Slade.
We're getting paid and getting us a Slade. Trust me, I did not make that up.
I don't even know what that's from, dude. I don't even know where that's
I can't remember where, but it was similar to a Dave Chappelle type thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, we want to be careful there because that just sounds, especially coming from a Caucasian Irish man.
Okay, then let's turn this one around. I love Dave Chappelle's white man voice. It is the best. Hey, what you doing there, buddy?
Oh, it's good. It's good. I love it. I love it. Shout out to you guys over that Rumble. Thank you so much, guys, for being over there. We see we got 15 viewers there. Thank you so much. If you guys could do us a quick favor, just log in. You don't just create a profile, link it to one of your other profiles, and just come in and comment with us. Talk to us. That helps us out when it comes to the algorithm, and you do help us out as a small gesture of favor. Instead of paying the server here or tipping the server, the way you could tip the server is literally just log in, say something like, "Hey, I don't like that guy with the long hair," as well as
not me. I got that shit cut the other day.
And you look slick, my friend.
I still got a white mark here from where my long hair.
You look good. You look good, man. But don't forget to tip your server. This guy right here with the thumbs, by logging in, hitting the little heart button, and more importantly, by doing that, make a comment. Make a comment. Again, we need to get to 200 subscribers to hit that next real point in the developer program with Rumble. So if you guys could come in, log in, hit that little follow button, that helps us out immensely. All right, let's get back to making you guys some money.
Hold on, I didn't have any luck coming up with what the helium mining cost was. I looked and AI tried to figure it out from the inputs, but I couldn't just find. Usually there's a website like in dune.com or something that just lists current proof of work costs, and I just couldn't find it.
It's all good. It's all right. We'll come back to that, and we'll let you guys know. But ultimately, that was one of the things that got me into crypto was this was the fact that, the mining aspect, and some outside organization took advantage of what Helium was trying to do, and they put a multi-level marketing team behind it. But honestly, that is the primary thing that got me into crypto.
It boosted their users, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It turned into just a viral situation, because,
the Amway of crypto.
But they're not.
I know they're not, but the marketing organization was doing it.
Yeah, but here's the thing that was so good behind it is that how many people did it bring into crypto? I mean, I got in because of it. I mean, and that I'm thankful for it.
Well, everyone watching us in Rumble, what do you want us to cover? There's 16, 17, 18 of you watching there. What would you like us to cover in it? You gotta drop a comment there.
Yep. So while they're doing that, dropping that comment, I want to go over some news here because I thought was really interesting. Outside of what we're seeing, just all the legislation that is happening, I thought was really interesting is a lot of the attacks. Like right now, the protocol Polyhedron promotes the promises backfire after a huge liquidity attack. And I thought that, and that's becoming very common. And what I thought was really interesting is when you read a lot of these attacks, the sophistication is growing with the attacks, but then at the same time, we're seeing also a huge increase in the security purposes of this. So that ability to be able to fight off a lot of these, we've seen, even though it's in the previous bull run, we saw the market, as it was going up, right? We saw the attacks come in at an exorbitant. Whereas the exorbitant amount of attacks and leaks and a lot of the why am I forgetting what's called? Not liquidity attack. Hacks. There's the word. Okay. So because a lot of the hacks that was actually correlated there, we saw a huge portion in security for crypto. So if you're in crypto or you're not in crypto, but you're starting to stumble on, and let's say you're dealing with real, like you're afraid of losing your job or whatever, look to, if you're into coding or anything of that nature, look to get in with crypto, because there's a lot of big firms out there that are looking to hire people who have TradFi experience and that are skilled at actually setting up cryptographic security protocols to be able to protect them. So I want to encourage you guys, look to see, because there's a lot of opportunity in crypto that most people don't realize. The fact that it's being adopted, we're seeing legislation get behind it. This could be a good transition, because let's say you lost your job with you're an insurance person who does, I don't know, actuary calculations, right? And now they've got AI that can do that like that. I mean, your friend, right? And now, but the fact is that you can get into other things. Oh shoot, we got Mikester in the house. Let's go. All right, XRP, XLM, Ondo, and ADA. I got that. I'm on that. But I just wanted to add that in.
DRust21 in the house on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. Really appreciate it. Yes, we will do BTC. We usually finish up our show with BTC. So stick around for a few more minutes. Mikester wants XLM and X. I'm guessing that's XRP, not XPR. Ondo. Cardanzo. I love saying Cardanzo. Yeah, we'll hit those. Yeah. No problemo. There's nothing like giving Pedro something to talk about. You just gave him a whole list. We got another 6 hours of show left.
I love it. All right, here we go. Let's go over here and let's head up. Good old XRP first. We'll start with the XRP crowd. All right, XRP. Now, we actually hit our level here again. We came up, hit the liquidity area. We sold off here. Nice little play there. But again, we're starting to see the seller step in. You can see right here that we're seeing sellers step in. Unfortunately, I thought we were going to push up and see it continue higher, but we didn't. So now you can see here that we're starting to see an increase in sellers. I would expect it to see us to come down back to this liquidity area here, which is sitting at the 1.61 area. So if you're looking to kind of get back into, or maybe pick up a little bit more, there's a few areas here. We've got that 1.61 161 area, the 161 area, as well as the 143 and the 128. So if you're looking to pick up some more of your XRP, which I disagree with, but if you're going to, that is really the area that you're looking to get into. Now let's check out XLM here real quick. And the reason why I say that is really we also have a lot of moving averages that are above us that are going to act as resistance to the upper side of the move up. We were above it prior, but now we're starting to sell off. Again, this area, when you look at the weekly, again, we have a lot of resistance, again, sitting above us. So I'd expect it to come down. Let's check out the monthly. We're below the 8 period. This would have acted as support, but the fact that we're now below it kind of sealed the deal on the monthly chart for XRP to come down to these lower levels here. So there you go. Next level here, let's check out would be the
Stellar.
I still miss our old rep there. XLM. XLM, similar to Bitcoin here, or similar to XRP. They're kind of like sister cousins here. So you can see sister cousins. I don't even know where that came from. We're seeing it kind of play off these levels. Now, if you guys want to actually take part in this play here, there's a nice little liquidity pool right here. You can actually take part in, which would be about right about here on that weekly chart. Be looking to kind of take a part of that, because as we come down into that level, you have the 50 period moving average on the weekly. Okay, and so you should see it kind of peak below here to see XLM come and tag those buyers. So if you're looking to be trading this, let's say on a perpetual, this would be a nice little play here. That's this area right here. Give me 1 second. It's going to be the 24-cent area. Again, this is going to play just like we were just going over with H&T, right? You're going to go to your 5-minute. You're going to go in as soon as it gets above that 8 period moving average with volume. Remember, green volume. We're then going to enter in as it pulls back into that 8 period, and then put your stop below the local high, or excuse me, the local low, to see it continue up. Again, we're looking for a 1-to-1 ratio where you're going to pull off 60 to 70%, and then you're going to allow, if you understand what I'm saying here, you're going to have your first position, you're going to take off 60, first position, you're going to take off 60 to 70%. Your second position, you're going to take off where you have remaining of either 30 or 40%. Half of that, which is going to be that the remainder, you're going to take off your second position, which is going to be sitting at a wherever you think is going to be good. I typically like a a 125 to 150 position, and then leave the other one, which would be the last 15 or 20%, to run and see what happens. So that's in a nutshell that we'll play with. Again, this is all about just getting on base and bringing home some money, right? And don't forget to tip the waiter.
Ding, ding,
and the
ding,
way
ding.
you can do that, is simple as logging into Rumble, hit the like button, the share button, and say something to us. And more importantly, hit the follow button, because again, we're trying to build that up as well. But again, that's going to be a play for you guys. Come in here, you can play off of that. And if you're even playing even more, there should be another play right here as well at that 23-cent area here. We can sit there and play that, and it'll be a nice little play for you guys. All right, but again, I expect to see it come down below and kind of play off of that 400 period moving average. Is going to be that 22-cent area, and potentially coming down to the 20-cent area, and it would look something like this. Boom, 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 boom. Something of that nature. So you want to be looking to play off of that.
And of course, with Stellar, pay attention to the news cycle. Any good news for Ripple will bleed over into the FOMO buying and selling on Stellar too.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, where is Jesus? Where's Sucker Free City today?
I know, where is he, dude?
Must be at the car auctions again. He was mentioning that used car prices are quite high right now. So it's getting harder and harder to find cars that fit his clientele, which is cash only. No credit, no problem, because you get no car.
Yeah, that's sad. Breaks my heart, man. I hope things goes well. I bought a used car myself recently, and it's been a difficult situation. I'm still carless, and my car is getting taken care of. So hopefully today's the last day where we have that, and I can actually be driving around. And because I refuse to pay overpriced for a new car of almost 3x of what the real value is.
Never buy a depreciating asset unless it's helping you earn money. Like, well, I have to buy a car because I have to get to my job. Okay, well, you're earning money at your job. It's a cost of earning money.
Yeah.
But those of you that go out and are trying to invest, if you've gotten play money, buy whatever the heck you want. But if you're sitting here listening to us trying to invest and make $100 a year,
even if you got play money, why would you gonna blow your money, dude?
If I've got 50 million, I'm buying a McLaren. All right, it's happening. Aston Martin, it's happening. It's happening.
I'm good money, dude. I don't care how much money.
And I'm going to hire you to drive it. There we go. All I got to do is ride in the damn thing.
Yeah, I would. You got me. All right. I'd just be like, all right, bro. We'd hop over and next. Go ahead.
Okay, we've got on the list. We've still got Ando and Cardano.
Yep. About to do some Cardano here real quick. Pardon me. Where are you? ADA. There we are. All right. So ADA is playing nicely into our hands. Look at that. All right.
Perhaps you should remind people why it's playing into our hands.
All right, so we hit the, it actually did not get above our illiquidity area, or lack of liquidity. So we saw it come in here, boom, just did enough. We hit the 200 period moving average, we come down. We talked about it coming down into our area here as we were selling off. Again, we thought it was going to continue, but I said, if we are going to continue, we need to get through this area here, that 86 cent, but we did not. Do you like how I'm now learning how not to put some crazy phallic symbol when I'm doing
I wait for that joke every day, and I haven't been seeing it.
I am learning, bro. I'm not going to allow this to throw things off. All the gaffes, but not that gaff, because it's inappropriate, and I don't want people to mess with that. So, here we go, though. So you can see, though, here that we've been following the 8-period moving average, and it's looking nice. So you can see here that we pushed through up at this level here at that 50 period, but now we're seeing it continue. Now, I think we're going to see a slowdown here of the sell-off, because look, as we are going down, you can see that the sellers are weakening. So I'm expecting to see this thing push up. So the area that I'm really looking for, it's kind of two areas. It's that 50 cent area here below here, and potentially again, this is something that I'm looking forward to, but I'm hoping to see it get down to that 32 cent area. But it's got a lot of resistance to play off of. So we've got the 44 area here to the 42 area, as well as we've got that 35 to 34. Again, I'm looking at that 32 area as kind of the final fail before we see the next leg.
Countdown. Pedro, I do want you to explain to people once again, since we have a lot of new viewers all the time here.
Yes.
Why are you looking for prices to go down, Pedro? Prices need to go up so we can all get rich. Moon, 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 moon. Why are you looking for prices to go down?
So this is the reason why I said, while the legislation is being established.
Oh, that didn't start out right. Why do you want prices to go down?
Okay, because that means that banks are going to buy. And they're pushing the market to go down so that they can buy at the cheap levels. Keep it simple.
There we go.
That's it.
That's the answer I'm looking for. We want prices to go down, not because we want you to lose money in the spot markets. We want prices to go down to pick up where all the liquidity is, because when banks and institutions buy all these orders that are waiting down here, ultimately that makes for rocket ship moves up. Because except for a brief period in SafeMoon's history 5 years ago, there's no such thing as just always up. So we want it to go up responsibly, and that has to, in order for that to happen, you have to come down and have a lot of buying going on, and then that goes up, and then those institutions sell, but you're out before then.
Absolutely. Now, we've got these little areas here that I'm expecting to see us hit. This area right here might be the last leg down, honestly, because, and the reason why I bring this up is it's important to understand that Cardano, even though it's not Cardano, it's called Cardano, is part of the strategic reserve for crypto. And so they're buying here. And obviously the banks are going in and buying and establishing a base for Cardano here. So it's important to remember while it's going down, who's buying as it's going down, and that's definitely the institutions. And so they have certain junction points. One is going to be, like I said, that 51-cent area for Cardano, as well as these lower levels here. And because of the initiation of the explosion sitting right here, right, I'd expect it to go up. And so in the same situation, I feel like this area right here, at this lower level, these lower levels here will act as a springboard to really push the market up to get to our next level here, which is going to be sitting about that 164 area, 164, 160, I think it's 170. Give me 1 second. Yeah, 176 area right here. So obviously it's going to be topsy-turvy, much like anything else in crypto, but it should look something like this. Boom. Good, okay. And the reason why I have it right there is because this is where the prep. So right now we're prepping for the altcoin season. I expect us by the end of this year to see a sell-off, but we could hit that 178 and potentially $3 mark here, 309, and if not higher. I mean, I personally think we're going to see a $6 to $9 Cardano, which is going to be retardation right there. I mean, you talk about what do they call them?
Well, that's a that's a 6 to 10x from here.
Yeah, but what is the guy? What do they call them? Retardios. There you go. The retardios are.
It's a compliment, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I apologize. It is a compliment. If you're new here, in crypto, there are certain terminologies. Yeah, it's a terminology where all of a sudden a market just goes crazy, and then you're considered like a guy who's a Chad or a guy in crypto who got in on a good deal, right? An expert in a market. That person is called a retardio. That they were able to get in on a big move, and it's just absolutely bonkers. So it's a term that is said. Thank you for clarifying that. So all of our new guys there that are watching, it's a term in crypto. Go look it up. If you go on the X, you can type in retardio, and you're going to get a slew of just degenic mindsets of just let's go, market move up.
Degenic mindsets.
Yeah, dude. I mean, that's even come. I actually heard that on a platform, or I heard it on X when someone who was talking. I was like, oh, that is what it is. A degenic mindset. Degenic as in the plural, group at whole, mindset. And they're just degens. They go in and they look for good deals. They're in the trenches. And if you're not in the trenches yet, you just might get into it here real soon. So, all right. And the next one that he wanted us to go is Ondo. Let's check out Ondo now. There we are. Which one? I
even have the price up before you. Ondo trading at 74 cents right now. Market cap $2.3 billion. Ondo is one I got in at 2 cents.
You got it.
2 cents or something like that. It was under a dime, and I took my 30% profits and got out, and then wasted the money on needless things like rent and food and tuition at university and stuff. If I had left it in there, would have a 35x.
I think what's interesting is, so we talked about Ondo coming back down. So I really didn't get into the hype of it going up. I think when it was brought to us, I think it was at these levels here, But I really am looking for Ondo to sit around that 43 cent, 33 cent area. Now, you have a couple areas here that you could play Ondo on. Now, if you're going to play it on a perpetual, which perpetual holds it? Because again, you've got a nice little play right here that you could take a part of.
All the perpetual markets have Ondo.
Okay, perfect.
Very popular.
All right, guys. So you can see here that we're the daily chart here. We're playing off of the weekly chart. So you can see how we've been playing off of that 8. We came up, tapped it, and then we saw it sell off here. More importantly, though, you have an opportunity to, again, to take in at liquidity. Below this area right here, there are buyers sitting right there. So it's important to be paying attention to this as it's coming down into that area. I'm like coming down in the air. I'm like literally bending over. That's weird. As it's coming down into this area right here, we want to take advantage of that. So if we see a major sell-off, expect it to rebound off of this level here. And so if it does go, we want to play the same type of play, right? Is that basically go through? Basically this play right here, but as an area down there. There's liquidity here. We saw it go up. We want to get in at this would have been hard because we always want to see a pullback to the 8. That would have been hard. Again, this isn't the traditional type of move here that we play. I'm trying to see here. There's not one here right now. Oh, maybe right here. But again, these are not traditional where money buyers are where we're gonna see a big push up. Let me see if I can play it here. Basically what we're looking for, like I said, is this area here where we've talked about this all day in the live stream here, that what we're looking for is a market to come down into an area where there's going to be buyers. And this area here is where there's going to be buyers. We're going to see it come down and then come back up. It may last for about a day, but again, we want to leave the leftover 20 to 50% to ride the rest of that movement up if it does. If you're looking to capture a quick profit, there are places like this all over the market every single day. You can take part in 2 or 3 of these every day, by as long as you're scrolling through and looking at major coins here, right? I'm not looking for, I'm not trying to play this off a micro coin. You can, but I try to stick where I know there's going to be large amounts of institutional play stepping in. And so that's where this comes in at. We'll see it come down, play this, and then see it come back up. And we should play around that 8-period moving average sitting right here. You can see first time it hit, it typically bounces off. So you want to be mindful when it comes down into that area of buyers. And I believe that's it for Ondo, but ultimately I expect Ondo to come down, come play around this 43, 38 area right now. You can see interest in selling is picking up as we're moving. So that's why I'm like, it's probably looking like it's going to go lower. So shout out to you, Mike, sir. Sorry I couldn't give you
Russ, are you still in the house there? Send us a message if you're still in the house.
Who's D Rust?
He asked for a BTC, and I said that we'd probably go over it at the end of the show again here.
Yeah. Yep. Over on YouTube here. And for whatever reason, my YouTube is not wanting to work. There we are. There we go. All right, so D Russ, what did he want? Just Bitcoin itself?
Just an update on Bitcoin, what's going on with it. He missed the beginning of the show, I guess.
Okay, please, I missed it. All right, so let's check this out, brother. All righty then. So I think we should have seen the sell-off in, yeah, here we go. So right now, Powell's about to speak here in a few minutes.
Oh yeah, you're right. We'll stay on for that. Catch the markets here and watch. I am not in any trades at all here after my $1.5 million trade.
I kind of wanted to.
For you new viewers, that I did not do a $1.5 million trade.
I'm gonna go dark here for just a second. So forgive me. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you watching, this is the DYOR Live show, daily talk show about crypto, commodities, stock prices, whatever. Generally, crypto and digital asset-centric things that people trade as a day trader here that are into crypto. We're not covering options and things like that. Maybe someday we will. But there's only so much time in every day,
Dude, I would love to do options, dude. I would love to sit there and say, all right, this is what I'm looking for.
Oh my God, there's no way, Pete. You'd have to have your own show, your own network. Those are things you could talk. The next thing you know, you'll have a 6-hour dissertation about the theta. And,
dude, I would love to sit. It would be so dope to actually be a part of, or even get on the show for Tasty Trade.
Yeah,
like
those
that would
guys
be
do a good job with it.
Dude, I love it, man. Their stuff. If you like to look at options, here's the other thing: options within crypto are definitely going to become a huge part in the liquidity aspect and basically helping the stabilization of crypto. Right, it helps a lot, and so I'm definitely expecting to see the CME as well as all the major players for CBOT to step in and really cause this market to kind of stabilize once it really starts to progress. Whether, like right now, a $5 trillion market cap for all of crypto is just unheard of. It's crazy, right? So I honestly expect us to see crypto get to a 400, I won't say that, but maybe a $40 trillion market cap, if not maybe even 100 trillion mark. I mean, I do expect it because of the asset behind it. If we see major inflation kick in, that's only going to help out crypto, because crypto innately is inflationary protective, and so it allows you to be able to take part in these big moves, and then it just stays there. You don't have to worry about a huge sell-off. I think that's where, once it gets to like a $40 trillion market cap, if not higher, I think that's where you're going to see a huge push to see it stabilize, right? And then from there, we'll again have maybe 10, 15, 20% retracement on pullbacks on bear markets, like a 4-year bear market of 20%, 30% versus 90, right? Or 70% pullback. So that's what I expect in the future. But right now, we're kind of waiting for how to speak. And you can see here, it's just been consolidating all day, waiting here. And the same thing, if we look at the Nasdaq, the NASI here, similar situation. You can see here how it's kind of been playing in this range here from the open to the close. You can see it's just been basically just chilling here from that 11 o'clock moment, and it's kind of chilling. So I'd expect to see it kind of go higher off of this level. So if NASI jumps here and goes up, then I would expect to see Bitcoin push up as well. So give me 1 second here. Over here.
Well, D. Russ, if you're still watching, one of the concepts that we always talk about here is if Bitcoin goes up at the beginning of the week, it's likely to go down at the end of the week. In fact, many traded products are like that. Pedro talks about it a lot. And if you look at the chart, Pedro, I'm just going to hijack the screen for a second here. If you look at my chart here, this peak here is the beginning of the week. That was Monday, and this was Tuesday here, and here is Wednesday. Just kind of consolidating, waiting for this FOMC. So we went up at the beginning of the week. We've come down. There are some lows down here further that Pedro has got me watching. One is the previous week's low here, this first blue line. And then below that, I believe, is it's not the monthly low, but it's a current very low. I don't know what it is. Pedro will tell me in a minute, I bet. But we're thinking it's going to come down and take one of those out, get the liquidity that's down there, and then rock it up at some point. But we went up at the beginning of the week, so now we're kind of expecting it to go down at the end of the week. So just as a as a habit, as they say, a habit of traders. If they're going to push it up, then they push it down.
Now, it's important also to understand this, that we've got some major movements here in relationship to what we're seeing. One being that we've had major news sources this week. Okay, so we've had up, down, up. It's kind of been ping pong in here. If you look at the daily chart here, right? Monday went up, but Sunday we kind of went up, and we kind of been in this range here. And so it's one of those things that I want to point out. So this is Sunday open. The reason why I pay attention to the Sunday open, because that is the CME open. There's a lot of volume that correlates there. You can see here, this candle is Sunday. So you can see that we've kind of just been playing off of this area here. And so they took the liquidity off from the Sunday open. They pushed them, and they're kind of chilling there. I am expecting them to either push up today, re-hit the 8 period, and then sell off to see it come in into Friday. So we'll see what happens there, but that's what I'm looking for, and I'm kind of waiting. So I think they're going to push it up to dropping here. You can see here we've got 5 minutes for the for Powell to be speaking, and so I'd expect it to kind of push up and come down, and it's making its way up. That's why. Again, I know it sounds confusing, but if you come back and you watch, it starts to get simple. But when you first hear me, I sound like I'm a nut. You're like, oh, what direction is it going to be? Like Tom said, first time he met me, I go, well, trading's not that simple. This is what it's going to do. We'll see it go up, down, all within this range. Then we'll see it shoot up, take out the liquidity, and then see it sell off. That was my first time ever sitting down here on the show. And sure enough, that's what it did.
All right, up on my screen now, we have the Forex Factory's website. And right in between my head and Pedro's neck here is a number, the 4.5%. The current rate expected, hold on, let me get these right here. Forecast is the one directly above, says 4.5. And then the previous was also 4.5. So they're expecting no change at all in the rate. And it literally counts down. It counts down. The government hits the go button. Boop! Sends us the number. I'm sure nobody's traded ahead of it at all. I'm sure nobody has got any insider information. Pelosi.
No, definitely not.
Right. And then we'll see how that does with the Bitcoin chart as it gets closer here. I'm going to put my Bitcoin chart on the 1 minute level here and see what happens. Since everything, if it comes in, nothing, there'll be a little volatility. There's people playing this right now like crazy. Just guessing, putting in high leverage stop orders, just trying to, betting $500 that it's going to go one way and they can turn it into 5,000. But that's no different than just sports betting on the Knicks. So we'll see here. I got a minute left before the number is released. They're usually pretty good about dropping online. And welcome, Vincent from Nigeria. Thanks, Vincent. Vincent, I've been getting all your messages. I've just been really busy, and there's nothing really going on that. I hope you're still trying to get a Web3 job, and I'll follow up with that fundraising thing we tried a while ago that didn't work out so well, but we'll try it again. Vincent's the moderator of our Telegram room. DYOR Media's Telegram room. There's a link to it in the body of this, wherever you're watching this, except on Twitch. Just got to click through to our website to do that. And join our Telegram. We post the show information there, schedules, things we're talking about. A lot of stuff about the Edmonton Oilers losing gets posted there. Oh, sorry, Mike. Panthers were just too good. I didn't watch much of the hockey season this year, but they just had depth. All right, here's the number coming up. Pending. We're getting the blinking pending. I wonder how this Forex Factory thing makes money. Do they sell subscriptions? And it comes out exactly the same here. Let's switch over to the 1 minute chart here. See if it does anything at all. And nope. One big fat nope. Well, let's see how far the numbers are behind here. And it's going up a little bit, but no more than.
I'm expecting it to get up to the 8 period moving average here. So that would be this area right here.
On what time frame?
On the daily. So we should see it push up to the highs and then see a potential sell off here. So on big BTC. We saw it. We saw them drop it here to push it up for the day. Right? I thought they were going to go lower. I thought we were going to come down to this lower area, but now, like I said, like literally 5 minutes ago, I'm expecting them to kind of push up into the daily 8-period moving average, and so that is sitting up around like 105.8 area. So we'll see what happens here. No wicks here coming in, so we'll see. Find out. Kind of slow situation. Now, also when Powell speaks, he starts to come in and he starts to talk, and so the market then typically responds to what he has to say. He's very calculated and extremely eloquent in his communication to the market. He understands that he can turn a market fiery up and fiery down.
Yep, but he won't speak for half an hour. We're not going to cover that, ladies and gentlemen. All we wanted to do was go over the Forex Factory thing, see how these things play out in the market, and of course it turned out to be one big nothing burger at all.
Sometimes the way it is in the market. Sometimes the way it is. All right, my friend. Hey, it was a pleasure today, man. I felt like today was a good day for whatever reason. We got 36 cents for the day, and
whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Shout out. And I'm actually been thinking about doing some opt-ed pieces with a few publications that I've talked with in the past. So if I do, I'm going to try to get you guys to go click on that link and have you guys check out what I'm going to say written in a written format, so y'all can basically boost my numbers. I hate to say it, but hey.
Hey, every time I post a short, I put the link in our Telegram room and say, hey, everybody click and share it, because it helps the algorithm get it going and getting boosted. Yeah. But anyway, we've had a good show today. We went over a lot of things. People gave us lists of things to do, so that cues Pedro's ADD brain to go rip through them, and that works out well. Oh, I got the right song queued up. Just need to put some music to it. There we go. There's the outro music starting to go. Ladies and gentlemen, Pedro and I enjoy doing this every day, and we enjoy it more with the interaction that you guys give us. And we also enjoy it more when Rumble gives us ads to read. We earned a whole bunch of fat stacks of cash today, 36 whole pennies. But anyway, as Pedro says, it compounds, it builds. So thank you to 1775 Coffee today for having trust in us to read your ad properly. If you even know about us, thank you very much. I did tweet them the link of me reading the ad so they could see that we did it professionally, but someone reviews it because they reviewed us and we got paid. Right, man, 36 cents. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we will be here tomorrow, Thursday at noon, as always, here on the DYOR network. The man in the box next to me is Pedro Garcia, the crypto chart analyst. My name is Tom, otherwise known as Striking, here in the digital media world. So glad to have hosted another great show here. Pedro, thank you very much for your excellent analysis today. Striking, thank you for your witty commentary today, if I say so myself. And anyway, we will see you tomorrow, so be there.